Well, hello, my fellow car milers. How are you doing today? Holy Grail kits. We've all heard that term, right? Yeah, everybody's talking about it now. So we're going to continue this conversation right here on this channel. But first, you got to listen to the music because after all, AZLeo Valor really worked his butt off for me for my Christmas present last year. So hey, let's get some use out of it. All right, so Holy Grail kits. That is a neat subject. It's something that's a term a few decades has been in our hobby. It's a term that gets used a lot in just about everything. Excuse me. I started without pre-liquidating myself here. It was starting to get dry. Yeah. Anyways, I like this subject, the Holy Grail thing. It kind of goes alongside my hoarding kits thing that we got blamed for so bad about wrecking a hobby with hoarding. This is a fun subject. Everybody's got it. That elusive model car kit that you always wanted. You never could get your hands on it. It's kind of, and then you might finally get it, and you have your Holy Grail, and then you got another Holy Grail, and then you got another Holy Grail. But it's basically those kits that one that you really always want to get a hold of, and they are really hard to find. Sometimes it might be uber expensive. You know, well, you could have more than one, too. There doesn't have to be just this almighty Holy Grail kit that's your... Once I find that kit, I can quit the hobby, which that's insanity, right? None of us are you crazy? Anyways, so, let's go on about this. So I'm minding my own business today. I'm sitting around, I'm going, I need to make a video. I haven't made too many videos lately. I've been preoccupied with a lot of stuff, and I gotta make a video for you guys. I'm thinking, what the heck can I make a video on? I'm talking to my friend Tim Brown from Throttle Power. You know that guy with the throttle power to the throttle. And we're talking today, and he's like, "Hey man, you need to make a video. You haven't made a video in a while." Yeah, I don't know. I've been coming up blank. You gotta get to it, man. You gotta get that video out. All right, I'll think of something. I don't know, and then go about my day. I'm doing things. Felix and I gotta make a run over to Andy's. I gotta take some of those wonderful resin pieces parts that I make from Luka Cee products. Go over to Andy's HHQ.com. Check them out. We got some loaded up, and we're gonna have more coming this week. There's my plug for that. Got to do the plug. Let's get back to what we're talking about. Holy Grail kits, right? Whoa, I'm feeling zany today. So I'm getting ready to go over to Andy's. Got Felix ready to go, and I thought, I see this video pop up right here from my old buddy Mark Batson, the Hobby Dude 007. Just a fantastic model car channel that is over there. Well, he's going on about Holy Grail. He had quite a few. Mostly what drives him are cars that he either used to own or friends owned, and he had some really cool stuff. Go over there and check it out. I'm not giving nothing away. And he said, it's something that's being talked about. And then I remembered there's this other dude, the beginning of the weekend or a few days ago, this guy here, we all know him. He did a video about his Holy Grail, and he mentioned somebody else talked about Holy Grail kit. It seems like we got a pattern going here, don't you think? So Matthew went on to talk about his Holy Grail. I'm not going to tell you. You just got to go over to his channel and watch that video. I have to say, quite a model car video channel. Well, he's called Model Car Videos, isn't he? Well, he got to talking on that video saying how he heard about this Holy Grail nonsense from old Jason over at Blue Ox Model Shop on that video right there. Now, I'm going backwards here. I'll go check out his channel, see what he's going on about with his Holy Grail. He did his like right after he got eaten Thanksgiving dinner, so he was looking, you know how you are after that kind of feast. Forged on for us and went on and did a video after putting himself through that. Go check that one out. I'm not going to talk about what he said, but you can pretty much see in the thumbnail there. And last, what it turns out is the guy who started it all, Mike over at Scale Workshops, put out this video right here. He's the one that got this all going. So there, I've plugged everybody involved. It's all of their fault why I had to start opening up my big mouth about this. So I'm going to talk about my Holy Grails. You can stop right here if you want and go back and watch all those videos, by all means. Or you can, why don't you stay here and watch my video. Then if you haven't watched those, go back and watch those. So we're starting a trend here. So thanks to Mike. Mike, you started something, so we're gonna keep it going. Holy Grail kits. Holy cow, Holy Grail kits. I've got some doozies. I've been doing this hobby for a lot of years. When I got heavy into it back in 1988, when I started recommending the hobby, I discovered that there was these other guys that were into this thing called model car building, pretty heavy. They were older than me, and I'd go over to their houses because I found this model car club, and the guys that were heavy into that, and they've been in it since the 60s. And I go into their model rooms, and they're just, whoa. You have more than one kit. I just buy a kit and build it. I'm doing it wrong. Well, yeah, you like a kit, you buy it, you know you're going to build it, and you put it on the style, get to it, and then you do that again. But the more kits come out, then you get ideas. You get new ideas because a kit comes out, and that's how it all happens. Anyways, then you discover there's kits because you see these old guys. I go in and see their collections. I'm like, oh my God, that kit was made back in the 70s? And that's kind of what juiced me. Yeah, there's kits because there's always race cars. I build a lot of race cars and always been into that. That's been really my driving force in the hobby. The cars I've owned, buddies of mine have owned in the past, I want to make models of. There's all that. But it really is the actual kits and the box art. You know, I've always gone on how I'm really a slave to the box art. Yeah, the box art grabs me. I got some Holy Grails that I have wanted because I saw these guys had them, and then I would learn the history of those models too. There'd always be very rich in history. That's why I have for years been doing this show called Lucas Kits, because now I have acquired a lot of kits that a lot of them were my Holy Grails, and they are other people's Holy Grails, and they don't get a chance to really get their hands on these and look at them. So I like to do videos and basically open box reviews on those kits, so you get a chance to see these kits if you never really knew what was inside the box. That's kind of what you know, guys who were in it longer than me, got these big collections, been doing it since years ago, and bought the kits when they were on the shelves. Now they're hard to get, and then I always wanted one of those. And over the years, I've picked up a lot of those kits. Not all of them, that's for dang sure, because there's a lot of them that really went into my Holy Grail thing. But I'm pretty fortunate, you know, over the years. I have gathered up a lot of the kits I want. Like, I was always a Bill Jenkins Grumpy fan. And I had this friend of mine, one of those guys that were in the club, and we became very close friends right out the bat. And I'm still friends to this day. You see him in the videos of the Model Car Mafia. This guy right here, you see him floating in the background sometimes there. Sometimes I say hey to him. But that's my buddy Tom New. Tom, known him since late 80s, you know, and he had one of those model rooms that he was a big influence of why I set my model room up the way I do, why I have the models I have. Him, and there was another guy that he was best buddies with, who's no longer with us anymore, who was Jim Wood. And those two guys, they were kind of like them, and a couple other dudes were the big movers and shakers that got the first club going and making the model car hobby pretty cool here in Phoenix. So those were the dudes. The guys that are left are in our club, actually. It's pretty cool. They mean a lot to me, and it's great that we have this club, that those guys are still with us and still coming to those meetings, and we're all having a good time. Anyways, I'm going crazy with my, hey, you know, when you watch a Luka Cee video, especially when I'm talking about models, it's going to be story time. So go get your hot cocoa. It's not hot cocoa, but I wish. Or your cold coffee. But Jim and Tom, they were like the guys who had the model rooms. They had the cool kits, and they both were into race cars. Tom was more into drag racing. Jim was more into stock cars. So it was the first time I ever saw these old kits from the 70s, the old race car kits from the 70s. I didn't realize model cars were so bitchin' in the 70s, man. And like I said, I was heavy into Bill Jenkins, has always been my hero. That's been my guy. I'm a grumpy fanatic. I've, since the 80s, when I discovered him, that's a whole nother story I might have talked about in the past. When I discovered who he was, and I got so infatuated with him, I just read everything I could about him, got to know about him and his cars. Oh, wow. I go over to Tom New's house, which, by the way, I have been planning, and we were going to do it last week, but I was really sick. I'm going to be going over and doing a video at Tom's house and talking to him, and we're going to take a look at his collection and his model room. And he's still in the same model room that inspired me back in the late 80s. Anyways, I go into his room for the first time, and I'll just never forget that moment. And he had all the MPC drag cars, funny cars, pro stock, top fuel, and he had tons of models. He just had all these great models from the 70s, you know, and pretty much everything through the 80s right on up to 1989 it was when I walked in there. And I couldn't believe that, wow, the model kits that I missed out on because I just got into the hobby here. You know, I didn't do it when I was a kid, so I didn't really pay attention, know what was out there. Well, you know, I have to say, my first Holy Grail kit I got was from Tom. It probably was close around that time, which was basically one of my first model car kits that I got as a gift, and I built it. You know, I got it in one of those kit exchanges you used to do at school at Christmas time, and I really loved it. It was the Monza 2+2 from MPC, the Chevy Monza. I bought that kit to build a Grumpy's toy with, so I kind of butchered the kit. And back then, it wasn't that old. You got to remember, this was 1989. The kit came out in 76, so it wasn't really that old, but it was to me. So that was like my first Holy Grail. Bam, got that. All the drag kits. I love the Pro Stocks. The whole MPC Pro Stock series is kind of my major Holy Grails, the whole series. But the main crown jewels of those, they did 2 Grumpy's toys, is they did his 71 Vega and his 70.5 Camaro, which the 70.5 Camaro was the car that is like, Grumpy's Toy 8 is the Grumpy's toy for me. You know, I built models of it. I did that reconstruction of that old one. So it's a very important model to me. And probably like about 20 years ago, I landed those 2 kits. They're actually not, one is in okay, the Vega's in okay shape. I did a video years ago, you know, of Luka's kits back when. Wonderful. Thank you, round 2, for fixing up that kit and bringing it out, making it better than the old original, because I show how really yucky the original was. Now you can build that car a lot easier. I still value the original kit very much so. It's cool to have it. I never bought it to build. It was one that was just a Holy Grail. About the same time, I got real lucky on this Grumpy's Toy Camaro 70. Always wanted it. The kit is all there. Might do a Luka's kits on it. What the heck? We might do that. I can't remember the condition of the kit. We'll see. I'll do a Luka's kits this week on it. I promise you. Just outstanding box art, and I wanted it. And I got a couple of the other MPC Pro Stocks. I'm still always looking to, if I catch a good deal on one, I will try to snag it. You're watching the Luka Cee channel on YouTube. And then there was who I was talking about, Jim Wood, who was more the NASCAR guy, and he had all the MPC NASCARs. Oh. But there was one in particular that I never got, but I do have, you know, I have a lot of the AMT and MPC NASCARs that I saw in his collection. I think I even bought a couple from him, and I did some horse trading. I've had some come and go too. I've got a few of them. You don't really need much of you don't need them to build so much, you know, these days, because there's a lot of stuff available today. You can build those kits. That's better. You can build a better model now. So, and lots of times, you know, I'm cheating. I got to tell you, some of them kits aren't really, they might even be built up a little, or, you know, they're not really that great of a condition inside, so I'm not really worried about the collectability. I buy these things to keep for myself and enjoy up on the shelf, because I do buy some kits to just hold on to. If I got a sealed one, that's really cool too. Sealed kits stress me out. Anyways, I got the NASCAR kits because of, you know, I remember seeing all of Jim's NASCAR MPC and AMT kits, and wow, I didn't realize they were really rocking the race cars, especially my favorite stuff, NASCAR and NHRA Pro Stock. They were knocking those out of the ballpark. I want to gather those up. So I got my stock cars, and I enjoy having those. And there's still a few more. There's one that is still elusive to me. I have it. It's kind of buried or somewhere. Oh, it's up there. They finally repackaged it. It was this kit right here, the Woods Brothers Donnie Allison Pure Later Cyclone. That was the first kit when I walked into Jim's room, and that was the first one that I laid eyes on, and the box art was so cool. I do have the reissue from like 15 years ago. I love that box art, but I really would like to get original, so that's a Holy Grail. I just recently snagged a Holy Grail that I was really happy about. It's a kit that I probably have multiple copies of, different versions of it, but this particular version, and what I love about it, is the kit has so much story to it. I actually got to do a Luka's kits, but it was actually Andy's kits that I did. This video right here. That is a really cool, kit unboxing. I got to, actually, the kit that I have, I got to a year ago do that video on it because it was in that stash that Andy got, and he held on to a bunch of kits for a while, and there were some of the really rare ones. He just kept them. He didn't really sell them off. And I always said, when you're ready to sell those kits off, let me know. I want first dibs, which he did, and I did snag all the kits that I wanted from that. This Red Alert car, it's got such a neat story behind it that I go into it on that video. It's got such history, and that's what I think I love about it. First of all, it's a really cool car. I want to build that car, but I don't need that kit to build it. I already have everything I need to build. I got decals, I got the correct car. It's the story, it's the lore. Is that right word? Model car lore that kit has that made it be one of my holy grails. And I was really, really stoked, really super stoked to get a hold of that kit. Now, my long story, absolutely freaking endless. I want to get into the ultimate true. When I say holy grail, what pops in my head and has been in my head since 1989 when I first saw, it's not a kit, it's a series of kits, and these kits have the most amazing story behind them, and they are also kits that you will never, ever, no way ever possible see these kits re-released because of a train wreck. And as a matter of fact, if you ever want to see the story or hear the story, not specifically about these kits, but about the company that these kits came from, it was Aurora. Go check out Max's Models. I've talked about him. I've even had him on the podcast. This is an incredible documentary he did on Aurora. Love that documentary. It is awesome. These were the Aurora Racing Scenes collection. Man, I go over to my buddy Tom New's house when I saw those Grumpy's toys, all those MPC drag cars, all that stuff. But he had these 16 scale kits still in the box, and we got talking about them. I'm asking, what the heck are these? Well, these are these Aurora funny cars. It was just, they did like 2 bodies, a chassis, actually a whole race shop scene. There was a race car diorama and whatever. They had 2 engines you could choose from, toolbox, just a regular shop toolbox, guys. So you could do a whole race scene. That was the whole idea of it. These were the most accurately and detailed designed model kits of their time, and I don't think even up to this day nothing's really touched them. A lot of great stuff has come out. These were the most, you know what, I'm using the wrong words, they were probably the most well engineered model kits. When I say that, it was really in the engines. I mean, all the kits were amazing, but it was the engines. The engines were what made those things famous. Wow, I'm telling you, everything, if you build it right, it will work. The crank will turn, pistons will go up and down, because it has everything. Separate pistons, separate crank, separate everything's just, it all moves inside. It has a beautiful detailed clutch. They're just wonderful, wonderful kits. I would love to build that engine kit. Oh my goodness, to get a hold of one. They will never be done. They're long gone. They were in a train crash when Aurora sold, I believe it was to Monogram, on a train, big train crash. Molds went flying. Go watch that video on documentary on Aurora from Max over at Max's channel. That's a cool story. So with that story, and because of how beautiful they were, the box art, they were so fascinating. Even back in 1989 when I discovered them, they were very sought after. They were legend at that point. They were absolute legend in the hobby. They're probably, in model car history, the most legendary model kits ever made that you ain't ever gonna own. Your chances are very slim. I don't expect to ever own those kits. If you ever get the opportunity to find a set, which that's a whole funny thing, you're probably gonna pay thousands of dollars for that complete set. It's not gouging. They're extremely valuable. There's not a lot of them out there. So I have a member of my Luka Cee Model Car Hobby Headquarters Facebook group, James Spencer Riley. He did this post right here. He just was going through stuff and found he had the whole complete collection. And as you can see, he has the whole, 10 kit series, and 6 of them out of the 10 are sealed. And of course, there's people that jump on, hey, you want to sell those? And it's like, Heck no, man. Ooh. He just wants to, and I'm glad he does. It's like, some people gave him a tough time, and we don't fly with that, by the way, on the Luka Cee Model Car Hobby Headquarters Facebook group. It's all about positivity and having fun, and don't get jealous, and we're not out there to sell, and he wasn't selling them, and he didn't put out there to sell, and people always want to go, hey, I'll buy those off you. What do you want for them type stuff, and then they get mad when he's like, I don't want to sell them, and then they kind of think, why did you put them up if you don't want to sell them? Well, you put them up because that's what my group's about. My group is about the hobby of model cars, and that is something extremely historic. And when I saw that post, I loved it. Hey, if people find their holy grails, by all means, get on the Luka Cee Model Car Hobby Headquarters Facebook group, and you post pictures of that stuff. And don't worry about people that you got some people that get jealous because they know they're never going to own those, especially that set of kits. I reached out to James, and we had a little conversation about a few things. We had to actually lock that. Can you believe it? We had to lock his from comments because there was just people getting silly and stupid on there about it. It's ridiculous. The guy just wants to show us and share what he has, which is so cool. It's cool. It's not gloating. It's not showing off. It's like, I'm sharing this it's a part of it. That's what's great about hoarding models. My goodness. It's just like all my stuff. None of it's for sale. Don't ask me. I probably won't answer you if you ask, because I get people asking all the time. No, none of it's for sale. I enjoy it. That's why I have it. I bought it because it's for me and it's mine. It's okay to buy something and continue to own it. It's crazy how that works. Anyways, that's for a rant. I don't want to rant. Anyways, so James, I asked him if I could show his post and talk about him having this, because he's only the second person I know of that has the complete series, all 10 kits. The other one is Tommy New. And Tom, I have had the privilege of actually looking at those kits, and his are all, they're not sealed, but they're perfect inside, and you're able to open them up and look at the bags and all that stuff, which is wonderful. When you say Holy Grail in the model car world, that series is what pops in my head. That is my ultimate Holy Grail. I have come to terms decades ago that I will never own them, and that's what drives. So basically I'm going on this incredibly long video about Holy Grail kits. Thanks a lot, you guys, going all the way to Mike. Thanks a whole heck of a lot for getting this rolling and getting me to come on here and bore the heck out of everybody about what I like about model cars, because I just love talking about model cars. I love it so much. That's what we do this for, right? Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to sign off here. Now you got the whole story, the complete story. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you had a wonderful whatever. It's Christmas time. We put the lights up the other day. We're getting in the mood. I'm going to try to have some more cool videos out for you. We're cranking up the parts. We got some more parts over at Andy's today. Luka Cee products. It's a slow-moving train, my friends, but I'm getting things rolling. It's got some things rolling, but it takes time to make this stuff, so I can only make so much. It's when I can. There's more stuff over at AndysHHQ.com. Go check it out. See what's there. I will be coming out with some new things. I'll make some videos on that. I got some new product coming. Working on a ton of different things. So I want to thank you all for your freaking support, man. I've been doing this thing. I just passed my 6 years doing this. Or was it 5 years? I don't even know. I didn't do enough research. But in October was my anniversary. I did an anniversary video with my buddies over at Andy's. So whatever I say there, add a year, and that's what the anniversary is. It's been a heck of a ride. I've had a good time. I want to thank you all. I have some people there that you guys been in the comments below. Always comment. I read all the comments. I can't answer them all or stuff. And I try to hit... at least acknowledge it by hitting the little heart button, letting you know I read it and all that stuff, and I appreciate it. I love everybody's input and have fun with the comments. And going over to the Facebook group, I try to get on there and interact with as many people as possible. I really appreciate all you guys, especially you guys have been with me for a long time. And then I got my frickin' producers, which is the greatest group in the world. That's why I put them at the end of this video. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to shut the heck up, because before this night ends for me, I got to get this edited, so I'm probably not going to get any model building in tonight. I wanted to. So why do we do this? Can you answer me that? Why do we build model cars? 'Cause they're fun! Here's the producers. Holy Grail kit. Holy Grail kit. Holy Grail kits. Come on. I'm sorry. It's just waiting. My microphone on my mic is going crazy here with the sorry. I'm my own key grip, so I had things going. Oh, now other things are falling. Oh, it's just terrible. Oh, the humanity. You know, I met you know. I like playing with my microphone, talking to you guys.